welcome to another edition of All Octaves with me, Val Kleinhands, where we chat music, whether it's with the fans or the people that make the music we love. Today, one of those people is in the building. Please welcome, hi, Priestess of Heavy Temple, Nighthawk. Welcome. We're so
Thank
thrilled to
you.
have you here.
Thank you. Thrilled to be here.
I know. I've been waiting for this because I'm definitely into that doom type sound. I mean, I still listen to Typo Negative, High on Fire, that sludge kind of vibe, and that's a large part, not entirely, but a large part of what Heavy Temple does. So I'm definitely excited to dive into that sort of subgenre today. I mean, metal is a broad term by itself. So for anybody that doesn't know you, is it fair to say it's a little doomy? How would you describe the sound of Heavy Temple?
Well, I'll tell you what, Val, I'm super glad that you asked that question. I never thought I'd be in an interview and be like, well, I'm really glad that you asked that question. But when we started, we got kind of categorically, I guess, put into the stoner rock thing.
Right.
And I was a late bloomer. So like I didn't hear Sabbath's first record like in its entirety, I think till I was like 20. Which is not something that I'm not shy about admitting that. We got lumped into like the stoner rock thing, which is fine. But I always kind of wanted it to be more like psychedelic.
Got it.
And doomy. So then I'm very aptly kind of just went with like the psychedelic doom moniker.
Right.
But that is, as I got older, High on Fire, Typo Negative, Candlemass, Trouble, Saint Vitus, those classics.
Right.
So yeah, I would say it's fair. I would say it's fair I mean, just Doom. I mean, it sounds so cool.
Doom is a pretty badass name. I do like it too.
Yeah. I think that's how we all feel anyway. So yeah. But this new album definitely more on like the metal end of things, I think, and less of like, well, I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about that. But
Well,
Doom for sure.
I love it. I mean, this is what I've always wondered behind the scenes, because I'm not a musician, but I used to work in radio on the other side, so to speak, like the group of people who would play the music. And my understanding was that bands get categorized in those labels, in those ways, because it somehow makes them more quote unquote marketable.
Oh, 1,000%.
So you agree with that? You believe, is that why they do it? And do you agree with them doing it?
I mean, on the radio end of things, if speaking frankly, we have actually our next single that's coming out. I could see it being. I mean, it's a rock song,
Right.
But it's got like sort of like Queens of the Stone Age with like this BOC breakdown with these kind of like like Paramore like bridge sort of, I don't know. So there's like a lot going on, right? And I could see that song being picked up in a way where it would be marketable, or more accessible, broadly accessible, palatable, whatever adjective you want to use.
Yeah.
So but it's not something that we don't set out to write songs for that specific reason.
Yeah.
But I think that some tracks lend themselves that way. There's heavier bands that have stuff on the radio, and it's just like the one song that's like, just enough for people to not think that they're Satanists or something, like that, right? So like, like Boomer and Nuge coming at you with like that crowd, right? But yeah, I think the tagging is definitely, or not tagging, but like that boxing, pigeonholing. I think it's depending on how much you want to make. You can get away with a lot by just saying you're like a rock and roll band.
That's true.
As opposed to like whatever subgenre, because I don't think, as far as it's marketable, is not, subgenres are not marketable. Maybe that's the best way to put it.
Well, yeah, I think because
they are becoming marketable, but it's still not going to be that like Imagine Dragons, whatever that What is
Right.
that genre?
It
Imagine
may
Dragons genre.
they are their own entity. They are they really are. They really are like on their own planet sometimes, I think, when I listen to them. But no, I think what you mean is if you're a casual music listener, if you're not
Yes.
somebody who
Right.
is diehard knows Cinderella's bass player from 1985, like okay,
Right.
if
And
you're
you have that one record across like 10
right,
different formats.
you don't know, like if you when you say metalhead, if you have the label of metalhead, you know the subgenres. Those
Hmm.
subgenres mean something to you and to
Hmm.
your ear. But if you're
Hmm.
just if you're the average listener, well, no, maybe it's not that deep for you. So
Hmm.
that's what I'm thinking is the logic behind these boxes and these categorizations. And
Yeah. Yeah.
that can get a little frustrating at times, but I kind of understand the logic when you put it that way, because the truth is, no, not everybody is super familiar. And if you're trying to reach the most amount of people possible,
Hmm.
what else are you going to do? You're going to simplify it. You're going
Hmm.
to, like you said, make it palatable. Garden
Hmm.
of Heathens to me was super palatable right away. We're talking about the new album. You've been hitting about it already, so I definitely want to dive in. Garden of Heathens, new album on the way. So excited for it. I heard the first single, heard Extreme Indifference to Life, and I was like, I am in love because the freaking title. I mean,
Oh
really,
yeah.
who hasn't felt extreme indifference to life? I mean, were you genuinely feeling indifferent about the state of the world when you were working on that single, particularly from the album?
So the thing that's interesting is like usually the music comes first.
Mm.
Um, so the like there's a lot of like anger and sadness in this album in both the lyrics and the music.
Okay.
Um, so actually, for any of my fellow Midsummer Murders enthusiasts out there,
Yes. Oh, it's such a good show.
okay, so have you played the drinking game?
No, I haven't played the drinking game, but I've saw like I binged 2 seasons on Netflix one afternoon when I was
There's
really
like
bored and I was
21.
hooked. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. Tom Barnaby is the best Barnaby, and then his cousin comes in like season 15. It's not as good, and I think there's actually nipples in season 14. But the
Oh,
drinking game is like whenever there's like hot gossip or whenever there's a bicycle, someone riding a bicycle, or like whenever fucking Joyce gets involved.
yeah, Joyce, always Joyce.
Oh God, Joyce. But yeah, so like every time, if somebody's having an affair, it's one drink. If they're brother
Yeah.
and sister, which is the first episode, then
Oh,
it's two
yeah.
drinks. So but yeah, so I think the charge is something different, but it's like extreme indifference to life is a criminal charge in the UK.
Oh,
And I think I was watching an episode of Midsummer Murders. There's like it's like something's like extreme indifference to the condition of human life or whatever. But
damn,
I was
that's
like that.
harsh.
I was like
I know.
that's exactly my yeah. It got a frown from me. I was like, ugh, sick. So I wrote that. I kept that in my little notebook. But no, so I wrote all the lyrics and then I titled all the songs.
Mhm.
And or I should say more appropriately, we titled the songs because that was a collaborative effort. But it ended up working out because that song in particular is about man, like imposter syndrome, I guess.
Yeah.
And like just anxiety, that thing that's like, hey, you haven't texted me back in 20 minutes. Like, do you hate me? It's like
Been
that,
there. We've all been there.
right? So yeah, that's kind of just like, when imposter syndrome to the degree that you almost feel like you're kind of like living outside of yourself.
Mm.
Um, so I think that's kind of where I like matched the song title with the lyrics and that felt right for the tone of the song too.
Yeah.
And it was that was a choice to put that as the first track of the album. And also it's just like the name of this, it's like it should be like a Cannibal Corpse song or something.
It's I can see the album cover
Yeah.
right now. I can see it just skulls and blood. Period.
Oh,
Just
absolutely.
skull and blood.
Absolutely. Probably
Or
some
like a
like
really
disembodied penises somewhere or like whatever. Like,
or a badass version of the Elephant Graveyard in the Lion King. Just indifference. You've been discarded. We don't care about you anymore. that's a thought. That's a
I
thought.
mean, hold on to that.
You-
Don't give that one away for free. Hold on to that.
So how, I mean, you talked about this being an interesting choice of single.
Mhm.
Why so? Because my thought was maybe this sets the tone for the new album. Does it not? Why is it an interesting choice?
I mean, the next single that we have coming up is like twice as fast.
Oh, got
So
it. Okay. So musically,
right.
it's
So
not
it's
comparable.
and then I mean the lyrical that theme is pretty much the same throughout the album. It's like a lot of like and I almost hesitate to use the term mental health. That's what it is, but it's like this whole album, the idea, and our former guitarist named it Garden of Heathens, and it was just this idea that um, we're already in hell. You know, so the idea that like the heaven that you've been promised is like not at all what
Oh yeah.
it actually is, and it has like religious overtones, obviously, but the album's not. It has nothing to do with any of that. It's so my point is just not necessarily just mental health, but like kind of understanding your place in the universe,
Yeah.
which is also a very narrow description, I guess. But so it's just it's about looking inward, and so that I think that the songs, even though they all are sonically kind of unique, um, it all makes sense. A lot of influences on this record too. It's really just kind of like a monolith to all things heavy. It's just everything that we like. Uh, Jesus Lizard, Black Angels, Scorpions, Flower Traveling Band, High on Fire, Candlemass, Queens of the Stone Age, Weed Eater, Metallica. I mean, it's like all
Yes.
everything that we love is on this record. Um, and it just we got the opportunity in during COVID to really flesh it out, and I'm excited for everyone to just it's a journey. It's a
Yeah.
journey.
Well, we were on a journey at that time. Good God. I mean, everybody,
Yeah.
I mean, at the time you're talking about the pandemic, I had a
Mhm.
theory that this was born out of that because of,
Mhm.
well, at least from what I know about the lyrical context and
Mhm.
where I can see like this is generally heading. So I had that thought. I was like, damn, I wonder if they're just like really reiterating what we all were feeling at that time. Nobody felt like they could trust their leaders. Nobody felt like they could trust
Mhm.
being outside or dealing with the general public. You didn't know who to believe. You didn't know who to talk to, who not to talk to. You didn't
Mhm.
trust where you were getting your information from. And eventually you get so overstimulated by all that, you're just like, I'm out. And
Clock
that's
me.
where, yeah, that's where the indifference and the apathy comes in. It's like, I don't even want to deal with this. I'm not always sure as to why like indifference or apathy is viewed as a bad thing sometimes, but I know some people feel that way. Do you think there's
Yeah.
benefits to being indifferent and apathetic to things as a musician?
Um, I would say like it's part of going through this album. I our guitarist, our former guitarist rather, he really just came in hot with the riff for this.
Mm,
Um, and I was I was going through a lot of personal things at the time
mhm,
lyrically. So during that time it's like there's all of this shit happening outside, right?
mhm.
And but then there's also like even though that's happening, like you still are having a life.
Yeah.
You're still experiencing your own personal losses and sadnesses, and then you almost have more time. You almost have like more time to sit with yourself. And it's like really sometimes it gets really weird in there, you know?
It gets scary.
It's yeah, yeah, it's like having like this, your emotional reaction and then your like analytical reaction all the time.
Mhm.
And so, you know, um I think that at some point it is necessary to not necessarily be indifferent or apathetic, but at some point it is necessary to the world is like a dark place, right?
Mm,
Just because nature inherently is violent,
yeah.
it tends to favor chaos and destruction. But that's also there's also rebuilding happening all the time.
Mhm.
So I think it's not necessarily apathy or indifference, I would say, but just like you have to realize that you're the only way that you're gonna get through all of the other shit that you have no control over is to just no, it sounds so cheesy, but just like you have to like start. It's so hard to look inward.
Yeah.
So you have to turn all that extra shit off. Because just because something horrible is happening doesn't mean that you have to that you don't have to like take that on yourself.
Mhm.
You have to have your space to do your shit, right?
Yeah.
So like I mean or call it apathy or indifference. I mean fuck it. Like, don't it's you got to just turn it off sometimes because
Mhm.
if you're not good here, you're not good out there.
No.
And yeah,
Yeah.
turn it off. Turn it off.
Submit to the present moment. Stay
Yeah.
what stay, it doesn't have to be as heady. Like
Yeah.
you don't have
Yeah.
to worry about like everything going
Mhm.
on externally. Just submit to
Mhm.
what's going on in front of you. I mean, that's really hard when there's chaos going on, but it's
It's
definitely important.
yeah, and there is that like thing that's always happening,
Hmm.
yeah, and you're constantly. Part of the reason I think it's important to turn that off is because you're like, it puts you in fight or flight like all the time,
Yes.
and it wreaks absolute havoc on your nervous system.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's like, and then your nervous system controls everything about you. And then you're like, why do I feel like shit? It's like when they're like, oh, you might have COVID if you feel like shit all the time. And I'm like, I do feel like shit all the time when I don't have COVID.
So
You know
do
what
I
I
have
mean?
it or do I
It's like,
not?
oh, does your head hurt? Do you have trouble breathing? Like, are you like anxious? Does it hurt when you swallow? Do you cough too much? It's like, yeah, man, like all the time. Do I have COVID? So it's important. That's the other reason. Like it's important to turn that stuff off so you can like
Mhm.
you
That's
have to
very
like you gotta repair that, man. You have to repair it. It's super hard.
it is.
It's very, very hard.
Does
But
having an
that's
outlet like
yeah.
music help you repair it?
Oh my god. I This album is like it's almost like I wrote it now
Got it.
to like my past self.
Yeah.
It's just weird the way that works. And yeah, I mean, like when you have any kind of outlet like that, it's really. I mean, I think when I'm on stage, this is a really interesting thing. Is like when it's at least for me when I'm on stage. I'm like that is like the most authentic version of myself that
Mhm.
I can possibly be.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's nothing going on up here. It's just like it's all there's not like nothing matters, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um and it's funny because it's like most like like Kiss maybe. I don't know if that's really Gene Simmons like inner whatever, you know.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But there is some element there where it's almost like an out of body experience, and that's like you're just like your realistic purest form when you're performing.
Mhm.
Um, and I think a lot of people, I think everybody has the potential to be creative and have that creative outlet, and a lot of people are not encouraged
Mm.
to pursue those endeavors. And when you have an outlet like that and you're a creative person and you end up being like an accountant, like that's why you go fucking mental.
Yeah.
Because that it makes
Absolutely.
people don't understand why they're upset, but it's like I have this thing that I want to put out there. And it's like, I don't
Yeah.
if you want to make like weird macrame, whatever the fuck, and sell it outside your house, like if you like creating that and you're proud of it and it makes you feel
Mhm.
good, do that for sure.
Yeah.
So it definitely does. Like I feel a lot of feelings when I'm singing these songs.
Right.
So yeah,
And when it's all stifled and you get a chance to just let it out, that's got to
Hmm.
be such a huge relief. I can tell that you have an acute understanding of what it's like to be that confined, because what I love about your vibe is that when you guys address your fans, at least on social media anyway, you're sensitive to the fact that people are hurting and have been burnt before. You have an understanding of that. And they're navigating toxic relationships. They have hard times during the holidays. I mean, sometimes you'll say that verbatim when you're
Yeah.
addressing your fans, really. Like, I get it, I've
Yeah.
been there. Where does that compassion come from? Did somebody give you that compassion before, or is that just in your nature?
Um, I have been finding out a lot about myself lately, because I don't have a job. And honestly, it's the best thing that's happened to me. It's just
Yeah,
without sounding too whatever. Actually, you know what? I don't give a shit how it sounds. Sometimes things just work out the way that they're supposed to, and I know that it's like I'm so I hate when people say it. Um, but you just kind of have to accept that that's like what it is.
yeah.
Um, and I mean, I think the more the m- hmm. Okay, pause. Let me get back to that. You said something about someone showing me that compassion, and someone did. I think
Okay.
that I think it's always been in my nature to be compassionate.
Yeah.
Um, and I've often felt like maybe like almost like loving myself and taking care of myself is like selfish. So I tend to put that outward. Um, but I mean, I did have parents who taught me that that's important, the way that you treat other people. So I'm
Yeah.
fortunate there. But when we were in Europe, I just was like, it got really dark over there. Like I think it was like, oh, well, Howling Giant missed their flight, their connecting flight. So they met up with us eventually. Second
Okay.
day, some of our merch got left on the street. That night, I broke my glasses. I was already getting sick.
Oh,
The third or fourth show, I couldn't sing. I've been playing music for like 25 years. That's never happened to me before, right?
yeah.
Can't sing. I feel like absolute shit. And then, of course, I get my period
Oh,
because
God. The worst
why the
time.
fuck not? Why the
Right.
fuck not? Why wouldn't I get my period, right? And and I'm just like, I just was like, no, I was straight up like not having a good time,
Yeah.
and I had some other personal things going on, and like mentally, I was just like not good. Not like let's all go home, but like it was just like this is my first. Oh, and we got fucking robbed also.
Wait,
I forgot
what?
about that. We got robbed.
How, like, what
um,
happened? Did somebody break into the truck and steal your
yeah,
merch, or?
we stopped in Milan, and somebody just like punched a small window, opened the sliding door, took a bunch of our shit, and yeah,
Oh my
we didn't
God.
lose any of our gear. But I mean, the drummer from Howling Giant, I think he like lost pretty much everything, like clothes, passport, money, laptop, in-ear monitors.
Oh my God. They didn't tell me about this when I talked to Alan Giant not too long ago too. And they were like,
Oh
yeah,
my
it
god,
was
I
great.
can't. Well, I literally almost just forgot about it just now. So,
And
but
they
but
probably that like repressed memory. They don't want to
they're like,
remember.
no, but so it just got. I was not well.
Mm,
Um, and it's oddly enough, this person that we had talked about doing backline and touring and what all, and driving around in Europe and all that stuff. We had a couple emails back and forth, but we ended up crossing paths at the very first show we played. Had no
oh,
idea that it was him that I had been speaking to. And then randomly he like messaged me on Instagram and was like, "Oh, it's good to see you." And I was like, "What the fuck? I didn't know it was you. What the hell?" So we ran into each other midway through. He was driving I Hate God. We ran into each other midway through tour and at the very end of tour. And I we just started talking about stuff, and like his father passed away around the same time as my father, and he was having these like
mm,
insane things going on in his relationship at the same time I was, and just all this other stuff. And so, but the way that he just like, I found myself rewording things because this person was just being like so warm. I
Mm.
found myself, even in like my most negative shit, right? I found myself trying to like rephrase what I was saying, because I was like, this is like, it's almost like talking to this person. I hope this feels like what I hope it's like to talk to me.
Yeah.
And I just had this moment where I was like, oh, like this is like who I am. And I don't have to like hate myself because I feel like when I'm loving myself, I'm feeling selfish, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't have to hide the fact that I am good and kind to people. I shouldn't feel like that's an egotistical thing to say. I should be proud to say that. And hearing these things from my friends, there's people that you are talk to, people that you've known for 20 years, don't talk to them for 5 years, still pick up like as best friends, right?
Yes, yes, we
And
all need people like that.
if those people are telling you things about yourself, they kind of have to be true, right?
Mhm.
Because what the fuck are you friends with them for?
Yep.
And so I finally just started believing all of the nice shit that people said about me. And I've been through some things, and I wish that I had, not that I didn't have compassion in my life, but I almost wish I'd had someone like me. I wish that I had this version of me to tell all those other versions of me, right? So this very
Mhm.
long-winded answer to your question is, um, yes, someone did show me compassion that I felt like was a catalyzing event for me to like be more open about the things that I am feeling, because I like to keep those things to myself, right? Um, and everybody's carrying around this fucking huge bag of rocks,
Yeah.
and like it's just like it those get smoother faster and way less the more people you have helping to carry them. And
It's
so
true.
like if I could just like, I know what I feel like when people post on Father's Day. That shit sucks. I don't
Yeah.
hate those people for having dads. I love that you guys have dad. I still have a dad, obviously. That's how I got here. But um, like I know how that feels. So it's like it's not, we shouldn't turn that into like, because I did hate those people for a long time,
Mhm.
right? I did
Yeah.
hate those people that had fun at Christmas. I'm like, well, why am I mad about that? Right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's because I need to deal with the fact that I'm super fucking sad, right? So
Yeah.
I've been trying to do that, and I think one of the things that's helped me do that is to kind of like try to just. I mean, I've had recently, since I've been more open about it, I've had people reach out to me on Instagram and be like, "You don't know me, but your band means, this and this during this period, and I've been through this," and it's just like, I feel like it's okay to say that like I am the person that I want to be. Right?
Yeah.
We're so afraid to just be like, it's not egotistical to take up space. It's not egotistical to like talk about the shit that you're good at. Like,
I know.
stop doing that.
I
Let's
know.
stop downplaying ourselves, man. Like, let's like, and it's not on
Ironic.
like there's so much toxic positivity, right? And it's
Right.
and this thing that I'm talking about, like it's brutal. It's the same thing I said to Johnny. Like it's fucking dark. It sucks. I cry a lot sometimes. But just when you just like let yourself feel stuff,
Mhm.
you can feel multiple things at the same time. You
Yeah.
can hate someone and also love them. You can be
Yeah.
happy that you left and also mourn that you're not there. You can be happy and sad, and like, he's like, it's you can feel everything, at once. And so I hope that people don't interpret what I'm saying as toxic positivity, because that's
No.
almost as detrimental, when
It
it's
well,
like,
yeah.
just like wake up every morning. What am I grateful for? My matcha. It's like, it's not that.
Right.
It's like, let's think about like, really, get this fucking bread, man. Wake up every day and be like, I am already being awesome.
I
Think,
I
just
I
say that
was
to
like,
yourself for like 10
yeah.
minutes every day when you wake up. Like, I am already being awesome. Not I want to be awesome. Like, I am awesome. I
Mhm.
know it sounds dumb, but it's just like that's real. You can, going further away from like reaching out and stuff, but like it's the only thing that you can do. This person taught me kind of is like the only thing that you can offer is empathy and communication,
Yeah.
and it's super hard sometimes, especially when you like fucking hate everyone.
You Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
No, I completely understand because I get the same way around the holidays. I mean, I moved halfway across the country away from my immediate family. So holidays suck
hmm
royally
hmm
because I'm not with them. I see everybody else with their own families, gallivanting, having a great time, yada yada yada. And I'm just like, damn, my family sucks. Like I'm not with them, right? I'm not with them right now, but it's like for various reasons because they're busy or they're doing their own thing. And it's also because I moved halfway across the country too. All of it comes into play. But that has your I mean, you made a good point. That has way more to do with how you feel about the situation than anybody else that's enjoying and totally not involved
hmm
at all.
hmm
They have no
hmm
frame of reference. They don't know. They don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah, and it's one of those things. It's like it's not it's not terrible to not have that experience, right?
Yes.
That's where the empathy comes in, right?
Yes.
Like I there are people who have experienced things that I have not experienced, but like I can imagine that some of that shit probably really sucks.
Hmm.
And if you think about whatever someone else is going through to a certain extent, we could probably all find something within ourselves, or like there's at least this one point where we can like feel kind of that,
Hmm.
or make a good analogy for whatever that feeling is. And it's tough too when you like people. Sometimes you don't have the resources or the support that you need,
Yeah.
um, and that's like kind of I don't know. It's like kind of where I come in. Like, not that I'm like not I'm not a licensed mental health professional, whatever. But
No.
sometimes it's just like it's nice to talk to someone who has that some similar experience, right?
Right. I mean, big part of being empathetic is simply listening too. You don't necessarily have to have an answer. You don't necessarily have to fix it like every
Mm.
man on the planet wants to do. I said what I said. Okay. You don't.
Don't apologize for that.
I was like, I said what I said. Most men in my life, I know they want to fix it. And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
not always the answer. And I get why they want to.
hmm
For
hmm
them, that's an act of love, but that's not always necessary. Like,
And
not every time.
that's the thing as well too with when the follow up to that is the communication, and you just say like, "Yo, cool," and I appreciate that. But here is like this is what I would like to receive from you.
Fair? Yeah.
And then if they're like, don't
I
fuck with
can't.
them anymore. Period.
Yeah.
Period. That's it though. And that's anybody, right? It's like
Yeah.
because like so full disclosure, I got diagnosed with ADHD when I was a teenager. Did the medication thing, hated it. So I've just been
Okay.
living this awesome neurodivergent life for a while, as the kids say. But I'm realizing that there are things now as an adult looking back. I'm realizing that there are certain reasons why I am the way that I am, and I need to be communicated with in a certain way for it to be effective for us as friends,
Hmm.
right? So I
Hmm.
had a friend say to me recently, one of my best friends, she's like, I feel like sometimes our friendship is one sided. And I was like, that's it's like it stuck for me to hear. I know
Right.
exactly why she feels that way,
But you want to
but like,
know.
but this version of me is like obviously super fucking sorry because I love you to death.
Yeah.
But like, here's what happens is like I don't answer you for a day, and then it just spirals, and I'm just like, oh my god, I haven't gotten back to you in like 2 weeks. So I'm like, ugh. And then I get inside of my head, and it's just this cycle of like self-loathing, right? And then it's like we reconnect, and then it's just like, ugh. So
Yeah.
that's like that is just tell people what you need, and
Yeah.
it's never an ultimatum. It's just a boundary, right?
Yeah.
Like
Or it's
like
a statement. That's all
or
it
a
is.
statement, right?
It's
Sure. It's
just a
like this,
simple statement because
right?
you wanted your friend to share that with you. I'm sure you did. And or
Yeah,
say something. Yeah.
I would rather. Yeah, I would rather somebody tell me if I'm a dick than not. you know?
Yeah.
Like, I can take it, it's fine. But yeah, I just it's like it's so crucial, and I think too, especially even especially when you're having online discourse, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because we're all in that shit right now, and so like the first rule of the internet is if you want to put it on the internet, don't probably, because
You
a no one cares, and b it's probably a hot take, but like and it goes back to like like trying to do your own what like being bringing light to like your little corner of the world. It's super frustrating to see that there are people out there who like
Mhm,
just really don't seem to get like being human,
mhm.
but also like yelling at someone's racist uncle in Florida on Facebook is not going to get it done,
What does that do for you? But it doesn't do anything
right?
for anybody in that
Instead,
scenario.
right? Instead, and like that's why it's so fucking hard because the onus is always on the people, like like legit, the onus is always on like the good people
Mhm.
to get the work done,
Yeah.
right? And it sucks, but like I've had so many conversations with like if I just like if I'm like okay, like understanding where that person is coming from, even if you don't like that that's where they're from, even if you don't like that this dude grew up in a family where that's like maybe that's normal in his family, right?
Yeah.
And like just because you had something doesn't that's still the empathy, man. It works both ways, right? So like especially like online discourse is like
Mhm.
I feel like it's most effective when you participate in active listening.
Yeah. It's that simple. And
You know,
you don't even necessarily
and when
have to
somebody says something
engage.
stupid, they're not right. They're not.
Right.
They're not doing that to have a discussion with you. So just like don't
No,
even.
they're just putting it out to the universe. I mean,
Yeah.
blogging or captions on Instagram, things like that, those are essentially diary entries. Those are
Hmm.
essentially just like journal entries, getting your thoughts
Hmm.
out. And that's all they are. You don't even have to engage with them if you really don't want to.
Hmm.
I unfollow things that I don't like. I don't like, that's it.
I wish
And you can just
Instagram
keep
had
it
a thumbs
moving.
down button, dude.
Thumbs
That's
down.
so stupid.
We do need a thumbs down button.
I want a thumbs down. Like Mark Zuckerberg owns it. Just put a thumbs down on there.
Just it's that
Um,
simple.
yeah, but no, I mean it's just really like I also really like the direction that this conversation is taking.
I'm all right with it.
No, it's just
Yeah.
super important. It's I guess going full circle. This album,
Mhm.
all of these things that we're all experiencing in some level, on some level rather, at some point in our lives, to a certain degree, a certain extent, for different reasons.
Yes.
The more you act like the we're so isolated. The more you actually like talk about that. I just bought a shirt the other day that said, "Hey, you guys think about dying?" Because like
Yeah.
I think about that fucking a lot.
Oh, that
You
was the
know?
best quote in the Barbie movie. I was like, that was the best point in the
Yeah, oh
movie.
my god, yeah. It's the Barbie font, you know what I mean? So it's just like but what I've noticed is that the more I'm starting to like I said, just like accept that I can maybe offer someone something that will help them, right?
Yes.
I don't really think about dying as much anymore.
So something's
So,
working, something's
right?
helping.
So
Do you
that
ever feel
so
like that's a huge responsibility? When you come to that realization, is that more pressure or
feeling
do you
like I
simply
could
just
maybe help
accept it?
somebody?
Yeah, when you realize that, oh, I have a responsibility to this, or people look at me this way, and now there's this whole other element added on to being a musician, which is hard enough today. I
I
mean,
just I mean, the only thing that I would like to get across is like being genuine.
got it.
Cause I do that overthinking thing, right? I'm like, oh, like me encouraging somebody, like, am I encouraging this person because I'm expecting some sort of like karmic payback, or like, am I being nice to people because I really deep down I just want something in return? I'm like constantly questioning my own motives and all of this other shit, right? So it's I would say that I feel a responsibility to just relay my experience.
Mm, mhm.
I would never tell anyone what I think they should do unless they solicited me for advice. But even then, it's like I can only speak from my personal experience. So if if something that I have been through or am going through or I'm trying to like work through, if that resonates with someone else, I would I don't know. I would I guess you could categorize, like a people pleaser, right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
But and that has fucked up my life a couple of times.
Oh yeah, I've been
So
there too.
I'm trying to like do that, but in this other way where I can
Mhm.
still like, and again, comes from one of those things like understanding your own motivations. I can satisfy that thing about me that potentially puts me in bad situations and like do something cool with it.
Yeah,
So it's not really a responsibility. It's just sort of like I'm just like trying to, that's why I play music.
exactly. I
That's
think the
supposed to
dude
be heavy tempo is supposed to be like going to church, you know what I mean? It's never supposed to be about even who's on stage or whatever. It's just like I go play behind a fucking curtain. But it's I always wanted heavy tempo to be more than the sum of its parts, and I wanted it to be like kind of like this religious experience, you know what I mean? Where it's
yes.
like I want it to it's not I want it to be like all encompassing, and
Right.
like
That's how yeah.
everybody is in heavy tempo.
I love it. No, I love that.
Everybody's a member.
That's how I view metal as a whole, and I think that's why a lot of us fall in love with it immediately because it is the genre of music where the weirdos, the freaks, the outcasts, like it
Mhm,
is where you're welcomed. And it used to be there was a very macho element to it, but I don't know that it's. I think as we in modern day times, as we modernize as a society, I think we're seeing a little less and less of that in the metal culture,
mhm,
which is
mhm,
great. I think it should
mhm,
reflect that. I'm looking
mhm.
forward to that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
a positive thing.
yeah. And I think also what part of it is like it's not necessarily that it breeds that kind of macho bullshit.
Mhm.
It's just like, I mean, if you make a safe space for macho bullshit, that's what you're gonna get, right?
Yeah. Period.
So, so I think as like you said, as we modernize, I think it's just more of like kind of like oh, like people in bands are this. It's like no, those people were always gonna be assholes. They're just in bands,
That's true
right?
too. Because
Like
they're an asshole in other parts of their life.
you could be like a work at Dairy Queen, and if you're an asshole, you're still gonna be an asshole whether you're working at Dairy Queen or whether you're in a rock and roll band.
Right. Yeah.
So I think maybe it's just obviously metal's like really visceral and it is really angry and it is really expressive and like also if you look at Spotify or any record sales or any of that, metal is consistently the highest like consumed, supported, like streamed, like it's a genre that's like constantly
Right.
people are so voracious, you know.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, I think now that metal has sort of become more than what it was when there were only like 30 metal bands.
Yeah. Yeah.
We kind of like we've allowed ourselves to be more expressive in metal and we've allowed ourselves to be more inclusive in metal. And I think that's part of what and it's in conjunction with modernizing. That's part of what is so awesome about the scene now. Um
Oh yeah.
yeah, and I mean it's just like you meet so many awesome people and everybody's so nice and like everybody helps pick each other up in the pit and it's like
That's rule 101. If you don't do
I
it, you're a
love
dick.
it. I love to
Yeah.
see it. And I like seeing people come to shows with their kids with like the big headphones on and stuff. Like it's just so cool, man. It's
Yeah.
really so cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody earlier today about Muddy Roots Festival.
Hmm.
It's awesome. It's in Tennessee. Shameless plug for them because it's my favorite. But it's like one year, the last year we played, it was like Sage Francis, Amigo, the Devil, and Guar, right?
What? That's a lineup.
All on the same festival. One year I saw Dead Kennedys MC5 and like Jizza,
Wow.
right? So it's like everything, right?
Yeah.
And there's all these like metalheads, but then they also have like a lot of like dark folk and like like the train hopping type stuff.
Hmm.
And it's so Jizza, for example, it's just like this sea of like metalhead kids and like punk rock kids and like crusty folk kids, and everybody knows every fucking word to Liquid Swords, right?
Yeah.
And then you're like people who are like singing along to Tim Barry's solo set, and then they're just like getting gooed on in the guar pit, right?
Yes.
And it just there's so much out there
Hmm.
for that any of those subgenres or like whatever. There's so much that where you're just doing yourself a disservice if you
Yeah.
don't explore a little bit, and
Yeah.
get outside of your comfort zone and like go to a show that you wouldn't normally go to or whatever. And
I love doing that. I love doing that. You discover so much new music that way.
I'm going to Bad Bunny in April.
Yes, I see. I can bump Bad Bunny. I don't know what he's saying, but I
I
like the
have
beat.
no fucking idea. I
Yeah.
saw him 2 years ago, I think, and I was like, there's a dude in the front with his girlfriend. He's got a Jesus Lizard shirt on. And I was like, I also like Jesus Lizard, so either you're super cool or you hate everything that's going on right now.
Yeah.
Either way, trade me your seat because you're like up there.
You're a hero. Taking one for the team.
Yeah, yeah. But I don't know. My favorite kind of metal just doesn't really take itself too seriously.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
In general, I don't think it takes itself as seriously now as it did when it first hit. We're talking 70s, 80s. I don't think it takes itself as seriously as
No, I
then.
mean, yeah. No one's as serious as me.
No one's as serious as Mayhem. You cannot fuck with Mayhem. No. They
Oh
really
man.
did what they wanted to do. Like, oh god, those documentaries and Lords of Chaos, like, it was all hilarious to me. Like, anymore,
It is
it
super.
is laughable.
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
laughable. Like, I
I'm like,
do
this is
this.
what happens when you give a bunch of white dudes money.
Essentially, this is
And
essentially,
why would you burn
essentially.
that fucking church down, dude? Those churches look fucking badass. There's like
That's
snakes. I
true.
mean, I
Yeah.
understand, Christians were basically like, we don't like any of this.
Well, no, so I think from what I understand, I think for the Norwegian perspective, and if any Norwegians are listening, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the
Hmm.
Norwegian perspective on that is you invaded us, so to speak, with this
Oh yeah,
Christianity, but
absolutely.
we were never involved with Christianity to begin with.
No, no, no. We
Those
didn't
were not
want.
our
Yeah, no. That's
gods.
what I'm saying. Is like Christians
Yeah.
basically came in and they were like, "Oh yes, well, we like this idea of the tree, so we're gonna keep that, and we're gonna just whatever your pagan bullshit is, we're gonna call it Christmas, and then we're gonna get
Yeah.
this white dude who was born in Africa. Somehow he's white with blue eyes.
Right.
We're gonna kill him, and then all this other stuff, and then we're gonna take all the stuff that we like from you guys, and we'll just take all of that." And then your fit's dumb, and I totally understand the sentiment. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
we don't want you here, but
Yeah.
man, those churches look so fucking cool.
They were. I want to get to Norway and actually see them in person someday. That's like a bucket list thing for me.
Yeah.
That
Well,
for
and there
me.
were like firefighters that died too in those fires. Like there are
Yeah.
people who died putting them out, and they're like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, but they're super cool. Yeah, imagine
Yeah, it's like, I don't know about that, but it's a story.
Yeah,
It's a
I
hell
know.
of a
I'm like,
story.
yeah. No, I mean, listen, I'm clowning. I do get in on some of that shit. Except person, I can't.
Can't see, that's the question that I always have is, can we separate the artist from the music?
I
Like,
just think it sucks.
some can.
It's not
Yeah.
my bag. It's not my bag. I mean, Varg is.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It is a good. I mean, that's the thing that's so fucking crazy about music is it's so powerful in that way.
Yeah.
And it's like I did. So it's a good example. The new Joker movie when
Yeah. Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix is dancing down the steps and they're playing Gary Glitter.
Yeah.
I'm not when I that scene is fucking awesome. The first thought in my head is not the dude that wrote that song is a pedophile.
He's like, right. Right.
Right? And so it's like it is like that's fucked up.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. But like it's like if you're gonna go down that road, it's like David Bowie definitely was banging 14-year-olds and everybody still is like David Bowie's super cool and like I mean it just depends on how granular you want to get. Not that
Yeah.
I am not advocating David Bowie
No,
banging
but
14-year-old girls.
you're making the point that everybody, any music fan, every music fan has their own limit with that. They have a different perspective with that, for sure.
Called me.
Oh,
Some
that's
person,
okay.
some person called me, and I
And you
was
hit a
trying to
button.
hang up on the
That's
phone.
okay. No, that's okay. I really just
Yeah.
had one more. I just really had
No,
one
but
more thing
well,
before we.
what were you saying about, we were talking the artists and
Yeah,
the
some music fans can do it, and some
Mhm.
can't. Some can separate it just fine as long as, like, I get shit for being a Pantera fan and a Mayhem and Burzum fan. I mean,
No, dude. First of all,
because
like walk. I mean,
one of the most iconic riffs of all time.
it's.
Period.
I mean, yeah, dude. Like it fucking
Period.
sucks. It sucks.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I don't know. I think that's a deeply personal question,
Yeah,
and
and
it's
it should
like,
be left to that person.
and
I
it's
mean,
like
because
Gary Glitter's got some bangers, but I'm not going out in public wearing a Gary Glitter shirt. I
no,
don't talk
yeah,
about how cool Gary Glitter is on the internet. It's cool to like
yeah.
Pantera and not be like a Phil Anselmo stan. Like it's
That's what I'm saying. Like, but that's what I
who
got
are
shit
you in
for.
your daily life, right?
Right. Yeah. That's exactly what I got shit for though, was wearing the shirt
Yeah.
and posting it.
Are you out here being like Vargas, a super cool dude with great
Absolutely
values? Like,
not.
no,
I'm
of course
married.
not.
I'm married to a half Jew. Of course not. Like I would
Yeah.
never. And he is a Nazi and
What a
anti-Semite.
flex getting a
Like
Jewish person to play him.
I know.
He was apparently really pissed
Oh my
because
god.
the actor that played him in Lords of Chaos was
Yeah,
Jewish, and I was like, "That's a power move. That's like a
that
big
is
time, like, yeah."
funny. That is funny. I
But
was, yeah, I was surprised at that too. But that's the kind of thing. It's like, well, in my head, no, those lyrics are very Tolkien-y. They're not like
yeah,
they're not. Same thing with Pantera lyrics. That's not entire. And here's the other thing: the lyrical content is not reflective of that one particular person's view.
sure, right,
And
yes, yes,
on top of that, the band itself, I mean, take Burzum out of it because it's just Bart, but in the case of like Mayhem and Pantera, like
yeah,
there's still three other minds or four other minds or however many that
sure,
were involved in this. It's not
sure.
exclusively that person's project or that person's brainchild. So
Hmm.
for those two reasons, I'm a little bit more lenient when it comes to, can I separate the artist from the music?
Yeah, it's like if you're straight up singing about sketchy shit,
Then that's no.
that to
Yeah.
me is different than loving your stuff and then finding out that you said some shit 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Now, of course there's varying degrees of good and bad, and there are some things that are honestly way unforgivable.
Mhm.
Um, but it's yeah, I think it's just a personal thing and like what are you putting out? What are you
Mhm.
putting out there? Right?
Yeah. What's the
If you're
vibe?
listening to like, oh, what's that one fucking dumb? I can't remember. I don't know. It's just some dumb band. It doesn't even matter. But they're like definitely thinking about shit that is not cool. And it's like I don't ever see people wearing like screwdriver shirts.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Because like
mhm.
we're beyond that now. We don't. It's like we don't do that anymore. Like stop doing that.
Yeah.
So it's like that. If we just continue down that path,
Mhm.
I think I think we'll be
We'll,
okay.
we'll be all right. One last thing for sure. I want to make sure we get out any information on the new album that you want us to know. Is there anything we need to know about Garden of Evens that we haven't discussed already?
No, I think it's a rip roaring good time. It's
Okay.
finally what I guess most people would consider to be a full length album. Well, everybody calls Rain and Blood full length, and it's like less than a half hour, so whatever, fuck it. But no, the artwork, the song titles, like the shot of us in the gatefold, the lyrics, like everything about this album is just
Mhm.
it is like the most complete concept so far. And I just hope everybody really enjoys it and really takes time to like listen to it and absorb it.
Yeah.
Um, And yeah, we have a next single comes out I think this week or next week. Third single in March, and then the album comes out on April 12th through Magnetic Eye. Yeah, and just Heavy Temple's always listening, so.
Yeah. Mark your calendars. Let's go. Let's see what Heavy Temple can do. I'm ready.
Yeah. I am too. I am too. It's been too long since we put something out, so I'm
I
excited.
know.
And not during a pandemic, so
And no,
we can actually go play shows
so how
and
long
play
have you
these
been sitting
songs.
on this?
Oh gosh, I think we finished it like a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Okay.
And
So
then
it has been some time.
admittedly, I'm a dickhead and I just drag my feet on lyrics, but
Yeah.
I will say they're the best lyrics I've ever written. They're like deeply personal, and
Yeah.
it's like I said, I feel like it's this me talking to like that me back there, and so I hope that it does resonate with people, and that they take some comfort in knowing that one of their favorite bands is just as fucked up as they are. So
Yes. I'm stoked. I can't wait. Thank you so much for your time.
yeah.
Love this
Thank
conversation.
you,
Thank you for
Val.
everything.
Yeah, thank you.